This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend. The end of our elaborate plans. The end of everything that stands. The end, no safety or surprise. The end, I'll never look into your eyes again.
My six criteria for what's going on in my head when I'm putting a film together. The top is emotion. Is this, whatever this shot is, and the cut to the next shot, how does it make you feel? And is that feeling what you want for the film at this point in its storytelling? Which brings me to the second, which is story. Do you understand what's going on? A good editor must have some sense of how to tell a story, and that involves a sense of rhythm. Rhythm is the cut happening at the right point in a musical sense, or is it like a drummer who comes in too late or too soon? You want to have the right rhythm, and it's a little bit like telling a good joke. If the joke could be a great joke, but if you tell it with the wrong rhythm, it falls flat. So there's an inbuilt relationship between the story itself and how to tell a story and the rhythm with which you tell it. And editing is certainly 70% about rhythm and what you are showing and the rate at which you show it. In a sense, it's like dance. You can explain the rudiments of dance, but to really learn how to dance, you have to dance. You just have to get out there and do it. And you feel awkward at the beginning, naturally, but then you gradually figure out, well, I'll put my foot here, and then I do this little thing, and then that gets me over there. And editing is very similar to dance in that way, in the sense that you can think of the architecture of a film as a kind of frozen dance. And what we do in assembling the film for the first time and then refining it is gradually improving the basic structure and then the finer details of those rhythms. Then there's something called eye trace, which is taking consideration of where the audience's eye is at any one point. Certainly in a theatrical setting where the screen is 60 feet wide, the audience is looking from one part of the screen to the other, and you, as an editor, have to have a pretty good intuition about where the audience is looking at any one point, just like a magician does, and for the same reasons. Because sometimes you want the audience to be looking over here because something a little strange is happening in the other corner, and you don't want them to be looking over there. So you construct the film to direct their attention by where you place the cut and where the focus of interest is on the incoming shot. Then there's the 180-degree rule, what you could call the 2D plane of the screen, because we're dealing most of the time with a three-dimensional world, but we're representing it in 2 dimensions. And then last is the 3D continuity of space. This just means where are the people in the space that is being represented? Is it a living room or a soccer field or a jungle? Well, I think the best thing you can do as an editor who is trying to learn how to edit is to edit. And in that sense, people today are in a much better position than we were 50 years ago. Because then film was very expensive and the machines on which we could edit film were very expensive. And it was just hard to find the time and the resources to get your hands on the stuff. Now, the internet is just overloaded with material that you can download, or you can shoot it yourself on a point-and-shoot camera, and you can get free editing software that allows you to edit and do very complicated things with sound that we could not dream of. And so it's, as I was saying earlier, the thing about learning how to dance is to dance, to actually do it. And that's true in this case. Obviously, look at as many films as you can and see how it has been done, and then forge your own path, because you will discover your own way of putting these things together. This is a very new art in human experience. It's barely 100 years old, whereas all the other arts, their origins are lost in prehistory. And so we individually and we culturally are discovering how to do this, and there's lots more to discover.